With the number of elderly expected to double by 2050, nursing home care is becoming more and more critical. Chances are you or a loved one will eventually live in one.
Now, these are just a few of the parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents who have relied on Michigan nursing homes to care for them. They're also the faces of just a few of those who died across the state because of mistakes.
In a 4-month investigation, Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker discovered that it happens often. Ken's live in studio tonight.
Brian and Marley, the number of deaths we found surprised even the state. 112 over 3 years caused by medical errors, neglect, or just plain poor care. Most of their stories have never been told. They include the death of great-grandmother Catherine Winters.
My mother was turning blue. Her lips were turning blue, her eyes were bulging. She was reaching out for help. She was putting her hands up to her throat. And all she wanted to do was have somebody help her. And nobody would.
But they should have, according to reports obtained by Target 8, and the nursing home's mistakes killed her. Her 90-year-old mom, Catherine Winters, was on a soft food-only diet after suffering a stroke, which meant that the nursing home was supposed to grind up her meat so she wouldn't choke.
Ground up meat like in a hamburger consistency.
Right. But in August 2012, state reports show Hoyt Nursing and Rehab Center in Saginaw served her beef tips, and she choked. Reports show a dining room worker jumped into action with help from a nurse's aide, dislodging some of the meat with the Heimlich maneuver. But what happened next stunned everybody in the room. That's when the director of nursing ran in.
The director of nursing told me to stop everything.
Catherine Winters was a hospice patient, which meant do not resuscitate. Her rescuers backed away. A witness said Winters was holding her chest and had a scared look on her face as 2 nurses led her away.
They just did nothing. They didn't call, no for help.
They just sent her to her room, right?
They took her to her room.
To die.
To die.
Her mom was a widowed farmer's wife whose grandchildren and great-grandchildren called her Mimi.
Oh my God, they loved her so much.
The nursing home, she said, told her family that she had died quietly of a heart attack.
My mother died a beautiful death. The angels came to get her. It was very peaceful. That wasn't a beautiful death. Gasping for breath and, turning blue, trying to get a breath. She knew my mother was terrified. She had to be.
Even the woman in charge of investigating nursing homes for the state was visibly shaken by the details. And they led her to the room with a scared look on her face. And she died.
Yeah, there's not a hammer big enough for that. I mean, I don't know how you leave somebody in that situation. I don't know.
It was another case, the death of Barnell Gunter last year at Spectrum Health's nursing home in Grand Rapids, that prompted Target 8 to investigate just how often these deadly mistakes happen. Gunter died after a nurse forgot to check on her clogged tracheotomy tube for 2 hours. After sorting through thousands of pages of inspection reports, we found it happens a lot. 112 deaths at 81 nursing homes across Michigan since early 2011. That's nearly 1 of every 5 nursing homes. That includes 30 deaths in West Michigan. The state agency that investigates nursing homes doesn't keep track of those numbers. Does that number surprise you?
Yes.
Florida-based Families for Better Care, which grades state nursing home care based in part on inspection reports, ranks Michigan as 4th worst in the country. It blames in part what it calls mediocre staffing levels.
We would not stand for these types of problems in daycare facilities happening to our kids.
State reports list victims by numbers, no names. Resident number 101, resident number 501. But death certificates, lawsuits, obituaries, and autopsy reports help Target 8 identify some of those victims. There's 91-year-old Eileen Rocky, a retired secretary who died of an overdose after nurses at Metalodge of Howell mistakenly gave her morphine meant for another patient for 4 straight days. We found 30 deaths tied to medical mistakes. A second morphine overdose, the nurse who forgot to turn on a patient's oxygen, the patient mistakenly given blood thinner meant for another, patients dying from untreated bed sores. Back in Saginaw, Deborah Goss, whose mother was allowed to choke to death on meat she should not have been served, is suing the nursing home. She says the $65,000 state fine isn't nearly enough.
Oh, I get angry about it. I get very angry about it because, you know, they took something from us that they had no right.
Now, despite our findings, the association that represents most nursing homes in Michigan says a growing number are getting higher grades from the feds for the quality of their care, though he acknowledged that more needs to be done. So what happens to homes that make those deadly mistakes? You'll see that part of our investigation tomorrow on 24-hour News 8 at 6.
Oh, Ken, you know, what's gut-wrenching here is that even the most vigilant family members who are looking after their loved ones in these homes, what can they possibly do to try to get behind these reels? What happened, the story?
You know, they talk about looking for the highest, you know, rated homes, but this home in Saginaw has 5 stars.
Right.
And, you know, it's a matter of getting to know the aides, getting to know the nurses, you know, just keeping on top of it.
What about strengthening some of that oversight?
Now, there's some talk about that. I mean, we'll have more on that tomorrow as far as the fines go in these cases, because there are a lot of fines that some of these people, the families, cannot believe the fines and how low they say they are.
Yeah, not
And you
punitive
said
enough.
the number of these deaths, those are not tracked anywhere? They're not, no records of that?
There's no record of that. We just had to go find that ourselves.
Go dig through all those
Yeah.
papers and
Yes.
count them all.
Yes.
Wow.
What an eye-opener. Ken Kolker, thank you for that. The state does rank nursing homes using a star system. You can compare nursing homes right now at woodtv.com. We've also posted a link where you can file a complaint with the state about a facility.